Aloha, y'all. It is Friday, Freya's Day, the 18th of April. Freya, the Venus kind of equivalent in the Nordic pantheon, and Fridays are a Venus ruled day. Before I get into the astrology, which you should pay attention to and learn a little about, I will show you the cards so you kind of stay sated, you ADD kids. So, Queen of Cups is the card of the day, with a clarifier being the Six of Wands. And the Fairy Friday wild card, Fairy Oracle, I should say, rather, is the undressing of a salad. So we'll read those in a second, but first the astrology. Sun is in Aries, 28 degrees. Moon, Sagittarius, 28 degrees. Those are trining. Mercury, 1 degree Aries. Venus, 25 Pisces. Mars has entered Leo, 0 degrees Leo, so that's going to be a big shift of energy there. Jupiter, 18 degrees Gemini. Saturn, 26 Pisces. That's conjunct Venus. Uranus, 25 Taurus. Neptune, 0 degrees Aries. That's technically still conjunct, it is exactly conjunct by 1 degree Mercury, but it is still technically conjunct Venus and Saturn. Pluto, 3 degrees Aquarius. North Node, 26 Pisces. That's conjunct Neptune, Saturn, Venus. Exactly conjunct Saturn. Black Moon Lilith, 2 degrees Scorpio, and Chiron, 23 degrees Aries. And Chiron is 5 degrees still conjunct the Sun, so they're technically still conjunct. The major aspects of the moment, there's a lot, but I'll try to rip through them quick. Jupiter is squaring the North Node, Saturn, and Venus. Jupiter is sextiling Chiron. Mars is sextiling Uranus. Mars is squaring the Sun and Chiron. Mars is squaring Black Moon Lilith. Mars is opposite Pluto. Mars is trining Mercury, Neptune, North Node, Saturn, and Venus. The Moon is squaring Mercury, Neptune, North Node, Saturn, Venus, and it is trining the Sun conjunct with Chiron. And that's really it. So, cool. Got through that quickly enough. So, if you've been patient and waited, you get to see the cards now. Yay. And if you don't know, I do more full readings, longer readings on Facebook. But I have to kind of condense this for the sake of time, given it doesn't let me go that long. All right, so if you're a cup, you're a water sign, so Cancers, Scorpios, or Pisces. Everybody has emotions. And the Queen of Cups is this feminine, fluid, watery part of water. So the intuition, feels, right? It's the fluid part of the emotions. Open to sensuality, seeker of desires and potent pleasures, rich empathy, creativity, and understanding. On page 80, Queen of Cups, I am a conduit for powerful love. Sensual, dynamic healer, intuitive, sexual, and otherworldly, the Queen of Cups demonstrates your gift of emotional intelligence, a rich empathy, creativity, and understanding. Venus conjunct Saturn in Pisces. North Node also open there. Creating this card was a truly joyful experience, and that's David D'Angelo speaking. He's been on my podcast a few times. Shout out. This archetype resounded so richly in my mind, symbolizing the possibility of life brimming with a magical energy. North Node in Pisces. We have simply forgotten how to see and experience it. I wanted to bring out the animistic nature of this Queen card. Animism comes from the Latin word anima, which means breath, spirit, soul. This belief system holds that objects, places, and creatures possess a distinct spiritual essence. Even words can be infused with spirit. That's where magic comes from, abracadabra. It means something. It's imbued with a spirit. We see the old broken television in the card releasing a spirit into the waiting cup as an ibis woman reaches for it in reverence. This refers to the Egyptian belief where birds had a special magical power, flight, the possible source of our image of winged spirits and angels. The entire environment of this card is vibrantly alive and interactive. Right? Sun in Aries, Moon in Sagittarius, Mars in Leo. It's very active and actionable. Sticks become tiny Alberto Giacometti beings. He's a sculptor, busying themselves around the Queen. An idea replicated in children's stories such as Pinocchio, where the wooden puppet eventually turns into a fully fledged human boy. Again and again, we see life, consciousness, emanating from mere wood or metal. Little glass girls in fairy tales, toys coming to life when adults leave the room. That's like Toy Story, or the Indian in the cupboard. In this context, we can fully accept the life in normally inanimate objects. Yet we forget that the chair we sit on is made of the same, quote, energy as us. All life springs from the same source and is animated by the same energy. Animism is a theme which draws me throughout this tarot deck. The idea of ordinary things becoming conduits of the miraculous plays out strongly in this card. The extraordinary in the ordinary, right? So, Moon and Sagittarius, how do we see the magic emotionally? We feel good about that right now. We are all, in fact, miraculous forms of technology, spirit technology. The fact that as yet science still has no idea of why we possess consciousness tells us that life is so much more mysterious than we can possibly imagine. To connect with the wonder of your own existence is the path back home, right? Sun conjunct Chiron and Aries. How do we revivify ourselves? How do we get out of the slump? We remember it's all magic. It's all amazing. Everything is awesome. The Queen of Cups is therefore concerned with matters of the heart, Mars and Leo. Excuse me. It signals acceptance and a rich empathy and understanding of the nature of things, Venus conjunct Saturn and North Node in Pisces. To feel your inherent empathy with your fellow creatures, to be emotionally intelligent and fully expressed, unashamed of what your imagination is capable of conjuring. There is much to be gained from listening deeply within, giving credence to the dreaming world and being the bridge between the two. And I just had some weird-ass dreams last night. So, Queen of Cups, the watery part of water, open to sensuality, seeker of desires and potent pleasures, rich empathy, creativity, and understanding. The clarifying card is the Six of Wands. So that's a fire suit. So the fire signs naturally resonate with fire, obviously. So if you're an Aries, a Leo, or Sag, you're a fire, though we all have that spirit of action in us. On page 112, I lead through example. Triumph and victory are achieved, getting your desired recognition, Mars and Leo. Fine-tuning your pathway to success, Pluto and Aquarius. So I think the idea here is that if we're open creatively to things and open our legs, open our minds, open our hearts, we can become victorious. But that doesn't mean there's no work, right? This guy had to sit there, create the clay, say abracadabra, and then the golem comes up and rises. So the fairy card we've got is number 31 on this wild card Friday Fairy Oracle. And, oops, passed it. It is as follows. It's called the undressing of a salad. Balance. On page 114, number 31, undressing of a salad. Balance. Avoiding extremes, achieving the impossible, being impossible. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. But basically, the abridged version, because I'm running out of time. Things are in motion and the outcome is impossible to predict. A cool head is required to deal with this, as is readiness to jump in whatever direction seems appropriate. Exercise cool judgment while staying ready for the unpredictable. Uranus and Taurus. Sudden changes of fortune may appear good or bad, but they are still in flux and can be rechanneled if necessary. Develop a poise, stay calm, right? Queen of Cups, keep your chill. You can come out a winner here, Six of Wands, but it is likely to take concentrated effort. Use power with delicacy and discretion. So we have a lot of firepower right now, right? Sun and Aries, conjunct Chiron. Moon and Sagittarius. Mercury and Aries. Mars and Leo. We have Neptune and Aries, conjunct Mercury. We have a lot of firepower, but we have to be cool and poised and in control for that fluidity to branch off and bifurcate. Like, it's going to happen no matter what. So how do we orient ourselves so that we can see where the possibilities lie from a cool place? He wants magical things to happen. That didn't just happen. There's magic, yes, Queen of Cups, but like he had to know the right words. He had to create the golem out of the clay and then say abracadabra or whatever, and then bada bing, bada boom. He's victorious in that. We have to find the balance, right? See how he's balancing the balls. He's playing Jupiter and Gemini with the balls, but they're ready for kind of anything to happen with those balls, staying kind of poised. See how she's poised? It's like that's kind of a sexual position, as is this. But we have to stay poised in such a way that we're open to the flow of life, and then we're a conduit for that. We're a conduit for the animated spirit of life to act through. That is, in a sense, you could say this is God or your higher self or whatever, as above, so below, and we're conduits for this creative power. Sorry for all the reflection. But that is really what the message is for today. So it's hard. I didn't read the full description because of the time, but like to undress a salad seems impossible, but it is possible with magic, right? Anything is possible when you see things as magical, and you can create things out of nothing. Abracadabra. So hopefully that's made sense. Leave a tip if you've enjoyed this. Holler for a reading. I love giving them. People love getting them. 5-star reviews. It's top shelf shit. And what else? Yeah, the Team Rabbit Hole podcast is alive and well, so check it out. Episode 307 was the most recent. I'll post that in the comment section. Enjoy your Freya's day, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.